Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of A Slice of Fried Gold. My name is Paddy.
And I am Darth Ben.
Ooh, how very dark of you, Ben.
Well, you know, you're always wearing white, I'm always wearing dark. It's fitting.
It's very apt. The lights are blue.
Yes.
Making sure you have liked this video, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell if you haven't already. If you are listening to us on Spotify, please do give us a 5-star review. With that all being said, slightly different episode this week. Obviously, as you can see from the title, we are doing a rewatching of an old movie for its 20th anniversary. I am currently on holiday at the time of this episode coming out. So we thought we'd make sure that you could still see our lovely faces this week, all 10 of you, and those who do listen to us, so you would not miss us too much. But with that being said,
You will like this video.
you will subscribe to the channel,
You will ring that notification bell.
and you will tell your friends to watch it as well.
We can try.
Yep, we can only hope.
Yeah.
Anyway, so should we dive straight into it?
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. So, I don't know about you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch this when this first came out in 1999 in the cinema?
Was it 1999?
Yes, Ben.
Jeez. Yes. We went as a family.
Yeah.
Because my parents liked Star Wars, and Star Wars was Joho approved.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why, because, you know, the Force is magic.
Yeah.
And yet Harry Potter, magic, no. But yeah, the Force was Joho approved.
Yeah, you know why? Because your dad likes sci-fi.
No. The whole religion's fine with it.
Oh, really?
Because,
wow.
we're not even 5 minutes in, we're already way off tangent. But that was one of the things that really killed my faith. We went round this brother's house and we were doing like a Bible study, blah, blah, blah. And somehow we got onto the topic of magic and supernatural, be it like things like that.
Yeah.
And he just started wailing on Harry Potter about how it was satanistic and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
All the whilst, the box set of Star Wars was right behind his head.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there going, wait a minute, the Force is magic.
Yeah.
So,
I know.
and that was literally my faith just gone.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you're standing, you're sitting.
Yeah.
You're sitting there saying, oh, Harry Potter is satanistic and it's going to corrupt you, blah, 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 because it's got magic in it, and yet Star Wars has magic in it.
Yeah. You know why? It's because the Jedis are a cult.
And the Johos were like, relate.
Hashtag brothers from another mother.
Anyway. So yes, back to your original question.
So you saw it when it first came out.
We saw it when it first came out. Joho approved.
Joho approved. That's good. I remember seeing this as well.
Yeah.
I feel like I went to see it. I can't remember. I definitely know that I saw the second and the third one with my mum.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I saw the first one with them or I went to like a birthday party and like a group of us went
Right.
as kids. But I do remember almost having some of the same feelings like rewatching this time round.
I was actually sitting there and going, you know what? I can't actually remember. I know this was the first Star Wars film I ever watched in its entirety.
Oh, okay.
Because before this, I wasn't... Like, my parents loved the original trilogy.
Yeah.
I never watched them. I was, like, not bothered.
Really? Oh, okay.
And so this one was the one I, like, watched first in its full beginning to end kind of thing.
Right, okay.
But yeah, we went, like, there was my family and then some family friends.
Right.
And we would always... This and Harry Potter, we would all go, like...
Yeah.
We would literally organise a meet up and go see it. And so there'd be, like 12 of us and everything. So.
Oh, that's cool.
So... I don't really remember this one in the cinema that much. Because we would have been 6? 1999, we would have been 6.
Yeah. I mean, I vaguely remember bits. I think I remember, like with most people, the Duel of the Fates.
Of course,
I remember that scene.
Yeah.
So vividly, like constantly just watching it, and then obviously. Like, unlike you, I used to watch the Star Wars, the original trilogy on VHS very regularly. I really enjoyed them.
Yeah.
So when obviously that then came to VHS, I would then like watch it constantly as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, still, what an astonishing movie. Some of the CGI and special effects in this movie are better than some of the movies that we get today. You know, this was made in, you know, literally, you know,
the last century.
Yeah.
The previous century.
The previous century, you know what I mean? I mean, like 25 years ago. You know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but like, okay, don't get me wrong. Some of the dialogue ain't great.
No.
Let's put it down to the fact that, you know, he's not the best writer in the world, but I mean, he conveys over what the story needs to put across in that moment in time, and I think it works very, very well.
He's a bit of an exposition-heavy writer.
Yeah. But then, even then, like some of the dialogue is just very basic.
It's the "You'll come with me to train." Are you saying that I'm going to go with you? And it's like, yes.
He could have just gone, woo!
I think it's more, you got to remember he's writing, it's technically a kid's film.
This is the thing.
So he's writing it because kids probably, you know, they need that constant reinforcement of, you'll come with me. So are you saying I'll come with you? And it's like, I know what's going on. I'm a 5-year-old child.
Yeah. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Flashy lights.
Yeah.
So, I think that's the one thing that the only, like, rewatching it now, you do realise how more, like, it is based for children.
Yeah.
Where like some of the modern Star Wars is definitely more aimed towards teenage.
Yeah.
You know, in the way of doing
I will
things.
say though, I mean, obviously we all know where we're getting at with it's aimed towards children. Cough, Jar Jar Binks, cough, and the gun's in it as a whole.
Yeah.
But for a children's film, tell me one other children's film that starts off with the first 10-15 minutes being about politics, trade, and bureaucracy.
I know.
I think that's where I think George Lucas fell down. You know, he's tried to make the universe too real, and by doing so, it's kind of like you're literally doing the first 10-15 minutes about, you know, boring politics shit.
Well, yeah, he certainly takes influence of the real world. I mean, you know, you look at the Galactic Empire, and that's basically the Nazis. Like that. You know, he does use aspects, but he was certainly using that first movie and you know the second one a bit as well as this is political. This is a very politically charged film.
But like he does the whole. He mentions the politics in the scroll. Before the film starts.
Yeah.
And then it can, like, I'm getting a bit critical of the film for a second, but it could literally just start with the Viceroy's already on Naboo. Oh, there's no spoilers. This has been out for 25 years.
Yeah.
Suck it.
Yeah. With full heavy spoiler.
Warning. Yeah, you know, have it in the scroll that, you know, politics, bureaucracies, trade, blah, 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 blah. Starts, Viceroy's already on Naboo, holding Queen Amidala hostage, and then instead of Qui-Gon and Obi going down as ambassadors, they're going down basically to rescue her. It would have been such a more punchier start without all the politics, but because he wanted to make it real, he wanted to really make it seem like a real universe, and I get that, and I applaud that.
World building.
His world building is fantastic, but do you really want to sit there for 10-15 minutes watching politics and bureaucracy talk?
I mean, I get what you mean, but also I think that also then sets up later on for Palpatine and his character arc becoming Chancellor and everything else. # spoiler, he's the evil guy.
But what were we saying before even that? Before I distracted us all about
like the politics of everything. You know, I mean, I mentioned obviously as well that the fact that the CGI. I mean, you look at like Jar Jar Binks, and then you think of actually how. I mean that CGI for that character and how it was filmed and everything was groundbreaking.
Yeah.
You know, it was.
Lucasfilm was always groundbreaking in its CGI.
Yeah. That and
Harry Potter.
No. Lucasfilm and the other company. I've literally, my mind's gone. It's
Industrial Light and
Magic. No, that was the thing that it was called for.
Where am I getting Industrial Illusions from? Isn't that from Yu-Gi-Oh?
No. Industrial Light and Magic was the documentary.
But what I'm saying is Industrial Illusions, the company. I'm pretty sure it's the company in Yu-Gi-Oh.
I feel like that's Kaiba's company, isn't it?
No, Pegasus is. Pegasus I can't Maximilian Pegasus. Industrial Illusions. I'm pretty sure it's his company.
But anyway. That was pinnacle of CGI, and then it, like what James Cameron did with Avatar, it then boosted it set a new precedent of what people needed to do with their CGI.
Yeah.
And I do feel like now...
What happened to that precedent?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Where did it go?
It's gone back, basically. Back in steps.
Yeah. But, okay, question for you.
Yeah.
Of course, the Star Wars franchise is in a very bad way at the moment. It's a very poor way.
Yeah.
Do you think if this film came out now, it would be positively received, or would it be tarred with the same brush as the rest of the franchise is currently getting?
Oh, it is Industrial Light and Magic.
Yeah.
Okay. I still think that technically, even though, it's not so much about the political issues that we have at the moment aren't so much trade and everything else, I don't think it would be charred in the same way. I think it would be potentially charred on other bits.
Mm-hmm.
We're more critical on script writing and things like that now. I think that would be more of an issue.
Yeah.
I still think some of the political stuff in it can still be, quite apparent to today.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would. I think it would still do the money and box office it would.
Yeah, but right now the Star Wars franchise as a whole is circling the drain.
Yes, it is massively.
If they released this film now and it was a brand new film, no one had ever seen it before, it was do you think it would save the franchise? That's where I'm
okay.
The angle I'm coming from.
I think it would.
You think it would?
I think it would.
I would agree with you for the last 10 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is? This is my quick review of Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
It's 90%, it's 80% politics talk and trade talk, followed by 20% of unbridled chaos.
Yes.
And with one of
the best lightsaber battle scenes.
with the little 10% pod race chaos in between. 80% trade talk, boring, 10% pod race, 10% unbridled chaos at the end, and that's what you need. You just need the pod race. And then
the pod race is kind of halfway to kind of keep you going, boost your interest again.
Yeah.
But I mean, how good was that pod race?
I was sitting there thinking you wouldn't get that in a modern film nowadays.
No, you wouldn't.
You would get highlights of it.
Yeah.
But you literally sit there through the whole race.
Yes, it would be a montage.
Yeah.
It would be such a montage. The fact that he committed a good half an hour of an actual in race, actually going through the whole all 3 laps and everything. I think it actually even worked in the fact there's only 3 laps.
Yeah.
If it was you look at things like cars, for example, where NASCAR is 100 laps. They doing 3 laps. Having 3 laps means that you can actually show it as opposed to then doing a montage like cars would.
Yeah.
I thought that was clever. I genuinely love this movie. I mean, don't get me wrong, Liam Neeson, amazing. Ewan McGregor, just coming back off Trainspotting, where he plays a heroin drug addict, to then play Obi-Wan Kenobi. Amazing casting. You can't argue. I mean, I know Jake Lloyd got a lot of hate that obviously affected his life, and he then quit acting and had issues with his life because of toxic fandom.
Yeah.
And actually looking back now, you know what? How many movies have we seen with child actors and you think, they're so shit, and you see him and go, yeah, he's not bloody,
He's not great, but he's hampered by the dialogue.
Yeah. And it was exactly the same issue that Hayden Christian had with 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Is that they're actually not bad, the seat just clicked.
Yeah, but why did your seat click? What have you been doing with the seat?
I don't know.
It's my seat that moves, not yours.
And mine moves out too. Is that the writing is not great. I mean, you can argue the fact as well that
Have you seen that meme of the line George Lucas decided to cut out of Clone Wars, and it's like it's a really beautiful line about loss and the fear of loss and everything. It's like he cut this out, and yet he decided to keep the line about the sand.
No, I haven't seen that.
I'll have to try and find it again.
Yeah. I'll Google it when I get home, I reckon. But I do genuinely believe that, like, this trilogy and, like, the original trilogy are some of the better works the better works that we've had.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't mind the sequel trilogy. The issue that the sequel trilogy had is that they tried to do something different with the what is number 8, the second one.
Yeah.
And then it got so much backlash that they tried to then backpedal with the third one, where what they should have done is, they should have gone, fuck it, we've got the third one, we've got the script, we've got a director, he knows what he's going to do with it, we'll just put it out there and do whatever. Because actually, that third one, what they originally were going to do before they brought J.J. Abrams back, was actually sounded pretty bloody good.
Ooh, do elaborate.
I mean, it's well documented. I can put some links down below for some people to kind of watch, like, a short animated version of it.
Right.
That goes through, like, the story in 20 minutes. But basically, like, a lot of people, Rey is kind of has constructed her own lightsaber, but it's a double-ended,
right,
which makes more sense because of, like, her staff thing is created from, it's like a double one, but it's like Skywalker one and, like, part of her own,
right,
and things like that. It turns out that Kylo's kind of, he comes back into the light. There's more of a hint about Finn becoming a Jedi and everything else.
Oh, okay.
It sounded so much more better than what they did.
I just think that the moment J.J. Abrams said, right, I'll do the first one, but I'm not doing any of the other two, because I'm a fan of Star Wars, I want to be in the cinema watching them as a fan, they should have gone, thank you for your time, but never mind.
Yeah.
They should have found someone who was willing to do the whole trilogy, sit down, thrash the whole story out.
Well, you see, I agree and disagree with that, in the sense of what they should have done is, you can have 3 different directors.
Yes, but
you needed somebody.
One screenwriter
to write the story.
Yeah.
All 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And go,
that's what I meant.
Yeah. This is it. This is the story. If you would like to direct 3, like the first, the second, or the third, we can discuss between the other potential candidates for directors.
Yeah.
It would be more interesting to see each individual's director's take, and
but
in
of course,
sense.
J.J. Abrams wrote the first one and everything, and he was like, "Oh, I'm just writing the first one. I'm not going to do it." It's like, no. That's when they should have gone, "Thanks, but we'll go find someone else to write it."
Yeah, 100%.
They should have also taken George Lucas's extended writings when he gave it to them when they bought the franchise.
That is another major issue, isn't it? Is that they had the stories there and then they wanted to do their own. I mean, it's obviously worked out for them. Cancelled season 2. You know what I mean? So
there's a part of me that feels really bad about that.
You know what? It wasn't great.
No, it was terrible. The bit that makes me feel bad was the guy who plays, I've already forgotten his name.
What? Jason Mendoza?
No. The Jedi Master.
Oh,
the guy from Squid Game.
Yeah.
He's such a...
I can't remember his name.
He's such a fan of Star Wars.
Yeah.
He actually learned English to be in this.
And he learnt it in, like, 6 months.
And it's like, my heart goes out to him that the one thing he's in Star Wars has completely tanked and it's been cancelled. He deserves to be in Star Wars because he's an amazing guy, he's an amazing actor, and the love he has for the franchise, the fact that he's willing to learn English quickly to do it, he should...
I agree as well. And I mean, okay, it's been out for a bit, spoilers, this whole episode, that obviously his character does snuff it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So he kind of knew, but I feel like he wanted to almost be like the Qui-Gon Jinn of that. Of that series. You know, the really interesting, well, not only interesting, the really annoying bit is the interesting bits happened in the last 10 minutes of the last episode.
Yeah.
And that was then set up for everything else. Where if they had actually constructed the series properly, it would have been a better show.
What you're saying is, this is very much a mirroring of the Phantom Menace, just it's stretched out across a TV series.
Yeah.
80% of take your time, 10% of unbridled chaos.
Yeah.
And that was what the Acolyte was.
Yeah, basically.
80% of take your time.
Yeah. You know what? Question for you then.
Okay.
Do you think the Acolyte would have worked better if it was a film?
Maybe, because it
Cut
probably...
out some of the bollocks.
It would have not outstayed its welcome.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it went wrong. Obviously, it completely shat on the lore, which annoyed a lot of people.
Yeah. Certain aspects of it did.
But then Phantom Menace did. When George Lucas started writing about midi-chlorians, I remember when the films came out and everyone was like, the fuck are midi-chlorians?
Yeah.
Well, everyone knows what midi-chlorians are because they're the powerhouse of the cell. Thank you, GCSE biology.
But the thing was obviously back in those days, everybody just believed
the Force was just the Force.
The Force was the Force.
Yeah.
That was because, you know, the Jedi Order had been destroyed and all that information had gone.
I think the problem is when, you know, people are much more willing to accept magic when it's just magic. If you then tried to quantify it, cough, midichlorians, cough, the threads in Acolyte, it pisses people off. Just let it be. As you said, you know, you want a villain to just be a villain. Just let magic be magic. It doesn't need quantifying. It doesn't need explaining. Magic be magic.
Just like religion. And that's what that's what the Jedis are. The Jedis are a religion. They are a religion. They are a religion of peace.
I think, in fact, even if he'd, instead of, midichlorians, if he'd be like, this kid has, you know, I can sense a high faith in him, that probably would have worked better.
It really would have. Can you imagine going around and they're like that's how priests pick out
do you have
priests.
faith? Oh, we found one. You know.
He's like, do a blood test.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got high midichlorians. You're going to be a vicar, mate.
Yeah.
You know?
Yours is even higher. You're going to be the Pope.
Oh, you've got weird midichlorians. You're going to be Jehovah's Witness. Or you're going to be Catholic.
Shots fired on the Catholics.
But yeah, no, I genuinely think that obviously they've obviously announced as well. I know that we're kind of digressing from Star Wars Phantom Menace.
We're talking about Star Wars as a whole.
We are talking about Star Wars as a whole. They are obviously, we've got the Mandalorian and Grogu movie being filmed at the moment, which will then, I think it comes out next year. Obviously, Pedro Pascal is obviously going to be voicing the Mandalorian as he does. And then obviously he's also got the Fantastic Four coming out the same year. And The Last of Us Season 2 in the same year. So it's going to be...
He's a busy man.
He's going to be everywhere. He's going to be in our faces.
A bit like Austin Butler was a couple of years ago.
Yes, he was.
He was just in everything.
He was in everything. But, so well, some rumours are saying that potentially, and I've completely forgotten her name, Kathleen Kennedy, who is the, for people who don't know who she is the, like the head of like the Star Wars side.
She's the head of Lucasfilm.
Yeah. Like, well, she's not
creative
the head
director of Lucasfilm.
Creative director, like, I just had his name and I completely forgot him now. Thingy is
Kevin Feige.
Kevin Feige is for Marvel.
It's usually me that's terrible with names.
I'm always awful with names. So there's talks that she might be out now because of obviously.
No.
Oh well, yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm devastated.
Basically, every time a movie flops, that rumor circulates again, and then they will do something like Mandalorian season 2, and then she's still in the chair, you know, because they suddenly then generate loads of money again. So with the Mandalorian and Grogu story, or the Mandalorian story continuing, where do you want to see the franchise go? Do you want to...
Oh, hands down, I would love to see them do Fallen Order as a TV series.
Oh, as a continuation or a... Like,
I don't... You've played Fallen Order. I know you struggled with the gameplay of it.
No. Yeah, no, well, not the gameplay. Do you mean like a continuation of the games? So stop playing from the games, or make the actual game into a TV show?
That.
Okay.
Because a lot of people who love Star Wars aren't video game players. And so when you try and talk Fallen Order, which is now canon, they sort of look at you like, where?
Okay.
So, yeah, I think they need to make the Fallen Order TV series.
Yeah.
My only issue there is, yes, Cameron Monaghan should be the guy who plays it, because of course he's the guy who mocaps for the character in the video games, but he's probably getting a bit too old, probably needs to move on to other things. So it's kind of like I want him to be in it because he's in it in the video games, but then he probably shouldn't be in it and they should give it to someone else. But Cameron Monaghan is a beautiful man and he's very sexy.
So on that same line, I would like that. I would like to see him in live action. But I think
there was the rumours he was going to appear in Mandalorian.
But I think him potentially coming into live action and playing the character at his age now, so it might then also force people's hand to then play the game.
Yeah, it might do.
Which might see like.
But the problem is the age he's at, the Mandalorian is too far ahead. He would have needed to be, because if you think about it, the games are set when Luke Skywalker's a little wee baby. Yeah. Luke Skywalker's about, is it 9 years after the fall of the Republic? The Fallen Order is set? So Luke's about 9.
So obviously, in that same vein, there's talks that they might do like another Obi-Wan Kenobi.
He could appear in that. He'd be the right age for that.
Apparently, if they did, they could then do that. Which I think would be cool. I do think that because they're obviously still talking about doing the Rey trilogy, like following on from everything else.
Yep.
I would like to potentially either see some more stuff like Rogue One, for example, like an independent story that is based in that universe that might not necessarily have to then be connected, or can then loosely be connected. I mean, we've got Andor season 2 coming out as well next year.
I think this
year, something like that.
They could also go back and do the High Republic.
Well, I mean, the problem is the High Republic is Acolyte.
They took the High Republic and then did their own spin on it. I'm saying do the High Republic.
But
not do their own spin on it.
No, but that would be then going further back, because the Green Jedi lady, she's the main character in the High Republic, but as younger.
She has hair. She does. There was also the video games that were quite popular. Was it Jedi Academy? They were quite popular.
Yeah. I mean, the Old Republic would be great.
Yeah.
And bringing them back.
The problem is that of course the sequels are venturing off down a line, so it's like you can't just say, pick up George Lucas's extended universe and go back to that, because they're now two separate things.
This is the thing, and I think also now what's going on is like Dave Filoni with things like Ahsoka, trying to cherry pick bits that he can use and then put it into it. So I think to be honest, I'm more interested in the stuff that Dave Filoni is trying to do, because I feel like he's trying to be more with it. Yeah. So I'd like to just see stuff from that.
Yeah. I don't know.
But
it's a difficult one.
It is.
You know. But final thoughts?
Let's final thought it.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
It's the Star Wars.
You know, I mean, it's always great to go and see, like, actually, I must admit, I forgot to ask you this as well. That's the first time I've ever rewatched a movie in a cinema like that. Like an old movie.
Oh yeah, it's the
first. I've been to see like the movie twice in a week or something.
It's the first time I've ever rewatched a movie. And you know what?
I enjoyed it.
When it comes to the prequel trilogy, I only tend to watch the third one again. Like if I'm feeling nostalgic, I'll be like, let me put the third one on, because come on, that battle on Mustafar. Like Duel of the Fates, yes, is brilliant, fantastic. Applaud.
Anakin versus Obi-Wan is top tier. That is top tier.
Like literally, George Lucas finished his tenure of being in control of Star Wars. I mean, yes, it's his creation to begin with, but he finished his tenure of being in control of the creation of Star Wars on a high with that. That was just
he truly did.
Pure, perfect cinema.
It was great.
To the point where people still reference it with the whole the initials thing, and it's like, if you know, you know, and it's like, I know, I say it all the time. But yeah, so this I think was probably the first time I've seen the first one in a long time.
You see, if I go through my stage of rewatching the movies, I can't, as much as I would like to do what you do and just watch the third one, I will force myself to watch the first and the second.
Fair enough.
Because I feel like it's then like the build up to know that I've got like, right, I'm 2 movies away. Right, I'm 1 movie away. Right, I'm on the movie.
I may watch Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I'm feeling like I need a Star Wars fix, I'll just either Rogue One or Revenge of the Sith. Just get boom, there we go. I'm having a little Star Wars fix.
Yeah, that's
we
fair.
good.
But overall, I mean, again, as we always say, support your cinema. You know, the tickets for like the re-releases of movies tend to be cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
They were only £5 a ticket. You know, for the month of September, they are also doing the Batman movies. They are also doing the Spider-Man movies.
Mm-hmm. They did the Harry Potter movies not too long ago.
They did do the Harry Potter movies not too long ago.
You know what?
It should have come out in December.
No, it's more. I should have gone to see at least one of them.
Yeah, well, there is that
me.
Yeah. But the problem is, every time they were doing them, it was something that we actually wanted to watch.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this one perfectly fell on. There was like literally nothing on tonight, so it was like, well, there we go.
We can do this.
We can feel nostalgic. I was tempted to get some Skittles because, of course, that was my go-to cinema snack when I was a kid. I was like, do I do it?
Yeah.
Do I do it? But I had a really big lunch and I didn't want to throw up in the cinema.
Yeah, please.
Also, felt good to not be the biggest nerd in the room.
Yeah.
When those 3 guys went pee perfectly before, so they were back before the Duel of the Fates.
Because your face was like, what? And I was like, explained it. I was like,
There was just so many people were getting up and leaving. I was like, where are they going? And you're like, peeing before Duel of the Fates. I was like,
because they would wet themselves with excitement.
Yeah. Aircon was loud.
It was very loud.
Apologies, guys, if the aircon was
being noisy. But yeah, with that being said, have you been to see the re-releases? Let us know your thoughts on the Star Wars franchise as a whole, where it's going, what your hopes and wishes for it going forward. If you can let us know down below, please do. You can email us at asliceoffriedgoldpod@gmail.com and we can bring it up again in another episode. But with that being said, thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, and give us a 5-star review if you are listening on Spotify.
And may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you all. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.